Hi, Kate. I just want to give you a few minutes of feedback with the charcoal reduction drawings that you submitted. So to start with the reduction scale here, everything looks really good. You're able to get really nice transitions in value. This is kind of an area between this value and this value that it starts to make a quick jump. Everything is actually very nice and gradual. This starts to make a quick jump, and then these two are really close together. So possibly darkening this one would really make it a more true value scale, but it looks good. I want to talk about your single bag charcoal reduction. It looks really good. I like how you captured the middle tone of the bag where there was no light hitting and then there were no shadows. I think that that's a really hard area to maintain without working over it. I like the cast shadows. The one thing that I would think about is the details that exist a little bit with these handles. Okay, there usually is some variation in value that happens with the handles here. They look a little bit more incomplete compared to the rest of the drawing. Another thing to think about just going forward is thinking about how this bag could have been drawn a little bit larger and how these could have crossed over the edge, gone off the page here to help break up that negative space. But the cast shadow here does help. Thank you for your note about how you changed the position of your bags. I appreciate that so that I kind of knew where you were coming from between your mass line gestures and then the final drawing. So the mass line gestures, I like how you have activated the full page as I was on the last one there, but then there's this one. So you're drawing large, you're allowing shapes to go off of the edge of the paper. So you're really thinking about composition. However, I want you to also think about how all you have to do for these is just fill them in. So fill in the mass of the objects, fill in the volume. What type of space does this whole bag take up? And think less about value. It really has nothing to do with value. It only, if you do it all one single value throughout, and then go ahead and describe the edges with line, that's all I'm looking for. So it really has nothing to do with value and creating lines to create the edges of these gesture drawings. And with the multi-bag drawing here with charcoal reduction, you've really captured all the values needed. And in this drawing here, I can see that you've really paid, just subtly suggesting the values that exist in the handles of the paper bag is really informative for the viewer, because what that does is it really tells us what that material is made out of. You've kept really straight lines that suggest creases in the paper. The one thing that I would think about is I really like how this bag that's in the background has very limited values. Okay, it just has basic values, which I think reads really well on the left side. But then as I look at it over in between these two bags right here, it has the same value contrast that it does between these two bags. And so what happens is that this shape right here is fighting for attention with these two right here. If it has a little less detail in the background, that will help push that back in space. But overall, this is a really beautiful drawing. I'm very happy with seeing that you've used the full range of values and you've maintained the middle gray, the tone of the paper. Nice work.